Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. And before we get started, I forgot my light, so give me 1 second. Leave it to me to forget something, because that's what I do. That's what I do. 1 second, guys, I'm coming. 1 second. I got that there. Need to plug this in here. And voila. Oh, no voila. Why not? Oh, here we go. Now I can see you, you can see me. All right, so let's talk about the title of this video, which is why the average person probably should not visit Thailand right now. Well, I want to make a few disclaimers first. Yeah, do more light. That's right, Greg. Thanks. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Everybody else that I said hello to earlier, thank you guys for coming by. Couple disclaimers before I begin this video. The first and foremost thing I want you to understand is this is not a video of criticism towards Thailand or the Thai immigration or any department that has any kind of control over whether or not tourists come in. This is simply for people that are thinking about coming that are just on the average. When I say on the average, I mean mid class workers, mid class people with middle class income, middle class jobs, that kind of thing. And we're going to talk about why I'm saying that right now. Don't worry. Hey, Mario and B, good to see you. I cannot say your name, Mr. ST, because that is yeah, but good morning to you. Anyway, matter of fact, I'm not even sure if I can let you comment on the. Might have to remove you, bud. I'm sorry. We have to keep it real PC around here. But you're welcome to listen. So, first and foremost, no disrespect to Thai government or anything like that. None of that stuff. Mark, I'm not selling anything today, bud. Mario says I get my C vaccine tomorrow. One of the first people in Australia. Awesome, dude. Awesome. I'm glad. I see people in America getting it too. But let me stick to the topic for a second. So what do I mean by average person? Hey Rocco. By average person, I mean if you're a person that works, or a general 9 to 5 job, or you have some kind of general lifestyle, and you get a 2 week vacation a year, or you get maybe a month vacation a year, and you're looking to come to Thailand to spend that vacation, there may be a better time. There may be a better time to do that than right now. As of this video's production date, which is I think Sunday, February 21st here in Bangkok. So as of Sunday, February 21st, I would advise, unless you're very, very wealthy and you have a lot of free time on your hands, plus residual income to support yourself, probably not the best time in the world to come to Thailand right now. Here's why. Let's talk about the first and most obvious thing first. Okay. The first and most obvious thing is the ASQ, or the Q, whatever you want to call it. We'll just try to keep it politically correct if we can. You're going to spend your first 14 to 15 days in a hotel room when you get here. That hotel room is very expensive. Okay. I've seen prices as low as 2,000 baht for that 2,000 US dollars for that experience. And yeah, I've seen them as high as $5,500 for that experience. So, the average person, the average tourist, the person that's looking to travel to Thailand to see all the sights and do all the things, probably doesn't have that. It's not that they may or may not have the money to spend on it, but probably does not want to use that money to sit in a hotel room for 14 days, 2 weeks, right before they come in. And I think that's where a lot of the people, a lot of the people get hung up on why they can't come right now. And hopefully that's a problem that we will see evaporate as the magic shots from around the world get spread out, and that we see some easing of restrictions, so to speak, when Thailand reopens its borders naturally, and we see tourism return to what it used to be. I think that that will be the time for tourists to come back, but it'll be a slow process. Now, the other main reason that right now may not be the best time for you to come, if you're just an average person with, you don't have a lot of holiday time, you don't have $2,000, $5,000 to spend on a ASQ hotel for 2 weeks, where you just sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks, or on a golf course. They do have golf programs over here where you can do your first 14 days on the golf course. If you like to golf, that may be an option for you. But most of those people are probably going to be in the more wealthy class, I would say. Not necessarily, but mostly. The second problem is, if you're a tourist, okay, I'm not talking about retirees or people that are coming over here to stay for long stay visas, like work or retirement or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is the people that are coming over here for tourism purposes. They want to go to Krabi. They want to go to Koh Chang. They want to go to Phi Phi Islands. They want to go to Bangkok and explore. They want to go to Chiang Mai. They want to go to Pattaya. They want to go to Phuket. They want to go to the tourist destinations that they've seen and heard about all their life, or most of their life, or in the last 2 weeks, whatever. They read it in a magazine, they did something, and it's got them really inspired to want to travel. Well, here's one reason why postponing that travel may be a good idea for those people. I went to Koh Chang last weekend. Koh Chang is a very popular tourist destination, for those of you that don't know. I think that's what everybody's waiting for, Robert. You make a solid point there, and that's probably what it's going to take. If you enjoy this content, please hit the thumbs up button. I'd very much appreciate it. Koh Chang is almost like a ghost island right now. The vast majority, and I do mean the vast majority of the businesses are closed, completely closed. If they're not closed, their hours are very limited. Okay, so like when I was on Koh Chang, most businesses closed by 7:30 p.m. They were closed because there's not enough tourists there to stay open. The nightlife scene in Koh Chang, which has a pretty decent nightlife scene, to the best of my understanding, was almost non-existent. So the things that people want when they come as a tourist, the businesses that they want, the professional massage parlors, the nightlife venues, the fancy restaurants, or the not so fancy restaurants, or the food, street food late at night, alcohol being sold until the wee hours of the morning. Those things right now are not possible in certain areas. One, because there are bans on selling stuff like alcohol right now in certain areas, and there are still curfews in certain areas of Thailand. Hey, gotta love Thailand. And there are also um, there's just not much to do late at night. So as a tourist, when you come over, you want to complete your day, right? You want to sleep in late, probably, because you want to stay up most of the night, party, that kind of thing, or you want to go out and see uh, different things at night that you don't get to see during the day. And those things in some places right now just don't exist. Or if they're there, they're at a very limited capacity. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean by that. They're at a very, very limited capacity. Um, so there's not much. There's just not much for tourists to do here right now. There are a few things that you can do as a domestic traveler. I've been traveling around. Hey, Lyle, good to see you, bud. Um, as a domestic traveler here, because I live and work in Thailand, I've been able to travel around and do some things that I normally would never have thought that I would have gotten to do. Um, you know, but for the average person that's not in Thailand, coming to Thailand right now at this point probably is not the best idea, unless you have plenty of free time or vacation time. Um, Greg. There's also the money factor involved. You know, right now it would cost you a lot to come to Thailand for a 45-day tourist visa, right? Because the first, it amounts to 15 days. You're going to be in ASQ, and then you got 30 days to visit the country. My question, when I say average person, what average middle class person do you know that has 45 days off a year, that's working at a job and has enough savings plus enough income to support themselves for or if they take an unpaid leave or something, what kind of middle class person do you know that has that kind of money? So those are the two main things. I will say this: Thailand is one of the safest countries probably in the world right now, in terms of everything going on. And I'm very, very happy for that. Very, very happy that I'm here for that. Thailand's done a fantastic job of controlling everything in terms of the illness. And I'm really glad and really happy to be here and be a part of that. Um, but at some point, one way or the other, something's going to have to give one way or the other. Like we're going to have to learn how to live with this thing, or the economy of Thailand, which is something that I'm not an expert on. I'm not an economist, not a lawyer. Don't take this as legal advice by any means. Is just going to dwindle, because I've seen that. I'm here every day, and I see what impact not having tourists is like here. And while Thailand is currently aiming for the HISO tourists right now to get in, they're, with these special packages and things that they're doing that I've read about in the past and that we've talked about in the past. I've quoted from other papers in the past, news sources here in Thailand. That's great to help them recover some. Anything to help the tourism industry recover some is a big bonus here in Thailand. But for it to be a full recovery, the borders have to reopen. And when Thailand reopens its borders to tourism, to international tourism, with a minimal 3 to 5 day ASQ or no ASQ at all, then you will likely see the return of business. I know you will see the return of businesses, and you will see the return of a very profitable and a very beautiful country, because Thailand is a beautiful, beautiful country. I've got to see so much over the last month. I encourage everyone to make plans to come here. 100%. Make plans to come here. This is one of the best, in my opinion. This is one of the best countries in Southeast Asia you can spend your money in. For the value, you just can't beat it. Make plans to come, but I would be cautious if I were to tell you to make plans to come right now. Let me catch a couple comments. Mark says, "Are these waiting periods in place for tourists only, not among locals going to different regions, etc.?" Right? Yeah. So the waiting periods are for anybody that's been out of the country and wants to come back in, or anybody who wants to come into the country. Very valid question, Mark. Good question. Dan says, "I'm not going to visit until 2021 early, or in 2021. Early 2022 will be booked shortly." There you go. And I understand, man. I understand. I would love, some of my plans here in Thailand depend on tourists coming back. So I'm all about tourism in Thailand coming back. I want to see the borders reopen. I want to see tourism come back to Thailand. However, the Thailand government and the people of Thailand are going to do what's best for Thailand, first and foremost. And we've seen that happen. Unfortunately, it's come at a great cost to a great many people in this country. Not necessarily just the expats, but the Thai people themselves have suffered financially due to what's going on in the world, and I hate that. But it's at no fault of their own, and it's really not. Well, not really. It's not the fault of the Thailand government either, because they're doing what they have to do to make sure everybody's safe. So it's just a bad situation. It's just a bad situation. Robert says, "Hey to Mr. Mitchell. Michael in Oregon. Good morning, sir. Jay, what's up, Jay? I hadn't seen you in a long time, man. Happy to catch one of your streams. Brother, I'm happy you're here. Good to see you." Robert Mack says, "I was going to do a live stream, but too many doing them tonight and showing my respect." Well, thank you, Robert Mack. I appreciate that. Alan, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Rocco says, "Will people travel to the closest hub in Europe?" I would think so. Probably. Probably. Frank says, "Why are the stays in the hotel so expensive for the queue? Are they specially designed by the region or the country?" I think it's the country has put the structure in place for them, not the hotel itself, but this is how you're going to do things, right? And because of the way that they do things, and because of the way that the hotel has to do things, it costs more money. A good person to check in on this would be like Roger. He's been through this. I think Anon went through this too. These people were coming over here looking to retire. Okay, so they're not coming over here for tourism purposes. A lot of people you see right now that are coming over here, that are going through the 14 and 15-day queues, are people that are coming over here for long stay, and that I totally understand. I'm specifically talking about tourists. I'm not telling anybody in the world not to come over here, because it's Thailand, man. It's beautiful. You wake up every morning. Even though I live in Bangkok, I wake up every morning and I'm still in paradise. And if I'm not in paradise, I'm only an hour's plane flight away. And the planes over here are very cheap, like, $60-$80 for a flight. That's a good question, though, Frank. Good question. Charles says, "I'm trying to get my certificate of entry approved so I can visit Thai friends, not worried about everything else. Go to the beach, drink on the friend's porch. My plan is to work remotely during the ASQ and then enjoy 2 weeks." There's nothing wrong with that, because if you can work remotely, you're working remotely, so you're not worried about your income. You don't have to have a ton of savings to supplement yourself, right? For that purpose. And you have a plan. You're going to work remotely during your 2 weeks in ASQ, and then you're going to go have fun with your friends for 2 weeks. There's nothing wrong with that. So if that's the kind of tourist that you are, then by all means, come on over, I would say. But it is a complex situation for tourists in general. Griffin says we are making plans for November and going to stay for 90 days, we hope. That would be awesome. 90 days. My question would be, 90, oh, you're okay. So you're going to get a tourist visa and then get one extension on it. Okay. That makes sense. That makes good sense, Griffin. Charles says extra costs is hospital partnership, food, extra cleaning, precautions, etc. Yeah, exactly. There are extra costs involved with the Q's state with ASQ, and I think Charles just did a great job of highlighting what those costs are for the person that asked that question. That was good. JX, what's up, buddy? He says when Thailand opens up, people are going to spend more. They're not worried. I agree. People are not worried about whether or not they're coming to Thailand. It's just when are they coming to Thailand. I don't think there's a person in the world that thinks that, well, I'm sure there's somebody somewhere, but I don't think there's, rational thinking normal travelers that go out that do this, that tour different countries on a regular basis that's going to say, no, Thailand's done, I'll never go there. I don't think that's the case at all. In fact, I think when Thailand reopens, it will be huge. I mean, huge. And, God, just bless Thailand that it gets there as quick as possible. And if you're enjoying this, please hit the thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTube likes it when you hit the thumbs up button. So do I. Yeah, good point though, Jay. Very good point. Filto says, I have real concerns about airline pricing and safety when it first opens. That's fair. Currently 1.4 million of 2.2 million seats have gone unbooked. With losing money, maintenance may suffer. That is a legitimate concern. However, there is a way to go through. I used to know how to do this. You can go to the FAA. Well, I guess if you're coming in on Thai, it wouldn't matter. Here's my personal opinion on that. I think that people have got to be smart enough to understand that the planes that they will be bringing people in on, if they have trouble with aircraft, I mean, if they have, emergency landings and that kind of thing, it's going to stifle tourism that much more. It's going to hold back tourism that much more. And what countries like Thailand, who have 20% of their national GDP invested, or not invested, but it comes from tourism, or it did come from tourism. They don't want any hiccups in the situation. So I think it's going to be a collaborative effort in the tourism industry. That includes airlines, boat travel, not traveling internationally by boat, but I'm saying boat cruises and that kind of thing. I think that all those are going to be okay. And I also think that many countries are going to bail out, so to speak, maybe not the bailouts of the past, but some form of bailout to these airlines to make sure that they have the money in order to make sure that problems like you mentioned with the maintenance will not occur. That is a huge problem that could arise, and that would be probably one of the worst fears that you could have as a country that's reopening, trying to get tourists back into your country. So that is a very legitimate point, Photos. I personally don't think that will happen. Just with my knowledge of the aviation industry, for those of you that don't know, I started off as an aviation photographer. I have a friend that's a pilot, and I have several friends that are pilots. But I've gone through the rigors of aviation before, and I understand a little bit about the aviation industry and the maintenance and how things work. I don't think that the maintenance will suffer. I really don't. But that is a good point to bring up. It is a good point to bring up. Gregory, what's up? There he is from Brooklyn. Good to see you, bud. Thanks for coming in. He says, "What's up, brother? 30-day first time coming there in September. 3K USD enough?" Brooklyn. That depends on if they still have, and they probably will, ASQ hotels. So what you need to do is contact Integrity Legal, and they will put together a package for you that will include everything, including your visa, your hotel stay. They'll make sure that all your paperwork and testing and all that stuff is done at the right time, at the right place, so you won't get bounced out of line or anything. But contact a legal professional. I don't think 3K will be enough for 30 days if the ASQ is still here. That's just my personal opinion. But that's why I tell you to contact a legal professional. That would be great. Don C, what's up, bud? He says, "Hi, Jeremy. I'll be back in May or June. I'll never leave when I'm able to get there." I hear you. I've heard that a lot from several people, man. Pat says, "I'm here on a tourist visa. It's much quieter than normal, but 70% of bars on LK Metro are open, and there's more than enough people around here to have a great holiday. So glad I came over. Don't want to go home." There is this is a good way for me to contrast, right? Ko Chang and Pattaya, because you're talking about LK Metro. Yeah, LK Metro right now is a popping spot. And Pattaya. What are you going to do when they have a case pop up and then they have an alcohol sales ban, or they throw another curfew on it? You're not going to be having such a good time then. Don't get me wrong. I love Pattaya. And LK Metro is one of my favorite places to stay and stay inside of. There's plenty to do in LK Metro. In Pattaya. So it's if you're here on a tourist visa, you're probably liking the fact that it's not that it's a little bit quieter than normal. If you're looking at 70% of the bars on the OK Metro are open, that means that since the last time I was there a couple months ago, they've opened a few more bars. That's good. Certainly for the economy and for the businesses of Pattaya. And if you got more than enough people around to have a good time and a holiday, and you have the money for it, then that's great. That's great. Absolutely great. Now, are you here? The question is, are you here under the amnesty, or did you come in and do the ASQ and do a tourist visa? That's the question, because if you're here on amnesty, then see, that doesn't really, or if you're here on the continued stay that they're giving people that can't get back to their home country or whatever, then that's a whole different story. If you did the ASQ and you came in on a tourist visa, then good for you, man. I'm glad you're doing great. Don C says, "Just so you remember, we met and you stayed in my Airbnb. I had you." I know who you are, Don. Absolutely. I remember, brother. That was a good Airbnb, and I had a good time staying there for sure. Mike K says, "Aircraft parts falling off planes over Colorado City." I heard that. I didn't hear it. I saw it on YouTube this morning, but I didn't have time to read into it. I'll look more into that again. That's like your statement is like a highlight, like a banner that a newspaper ad would put. Aircraft parts fall over Colorado City. Well, we don't know where those parts came from. Maybe they were hauling aircraft parts and the cargo let go. We don't know. Maybe it's parts of the actual airplane. That would be bad. But there's a lot to consider. New York Frank says, are you seeing increases on the insurance policies for health because of it? No, actually, the insurance for it is not bad at all. It's usually just an add-on to your insurance that you have, and it's not much if you already have an existing policy, or if you don't have an existing policy. I believe that the insurance amounts stay the same. Problem is, and this goes back to, this is the third problem that I forgot to mention when it comes to tourism coming over here. Having that $100,000 of USD coverage for the for it is, oh, we have our first PayPal of the day. Thank you very much, Mr. Griffin. I appreciate it. It probably won't come through the email, but well, it did. There we go. I have to cover up your whole name, but I will show everyone. What does it say? Thanks for doing more streaming. Okay, so at the bottom there, you can see at the bottom $20. Thank you so much, Griffin. I appreciate that, brother. That goes into the channel fund, and the channel fund was completely empty for my Coach Aim trip. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. But that $100,000 of USD coverage is another problem that you got to have in order to come into the country right now. So if you can afford that, that's great. Again, this is where I fall into that middle class thinking, right? Because, you know, granted, you can get that kind of coverage for between, you know, you could probably get it for, I think I had seen some prices that were between 13,000 and all the way up to astronomical prices, depending on how long you were staying. So it kind of depends on how long you're staying, but the insurance policies over here do vary for sure. They do vary. Let me catch comments again. Let's see. Frank says, are you seeing increase? Oh, I just read that. Charles White says, FYI, costs so far are $1,500 for ASQ flight. That's the low end ASQ, though. That's the absolute low end, because I know Rogers was more than that. But still, $1,500 for ASQ, and this is in USD. Flight $750. That depend, and again, that's going to depend on where you're coming from and what you get. Sorry guys, getting messages here. But we'll use those numbers here. So $1,500 for the ASQ, $750 for the flight test and fit the flight exam covered by my insurance. The insurance was $250 for 60 days. So $250 for 60 days. There you go. I planned 35 days, so I had to be 60-day insurance. Yeah, so I'm assuming they would sell it 30 days at a time. So when you add all that up, you're looking at what, 2,500. So you're looking at about $2,500 plus if your insurance does not cover the fit to fly test. Then you would have to add that onto it as well. Yeah, so you know, you look $2,500 to $3,000 just to get here, That's my point right now. That's why I like. Gregor says I meant $3,000 spending for allowance after all legitimate legalities for the 30 days. Oh yeah, you should be okay on $3,000, man. On $3,000, you should be able to come over and have a good time with no problem. Prices there, I do know that they're running prices in some of these bars last on the cheap. I've seen some really good deals on the bars. I'm a member of many Facebook groups that are in many tourist destinations, and I've seen some real good prices on food and alcohol and other things in these places. Mike K says by summertime, we don't use the P word in here, Mike. Sorry, bud. But we hope you're right. We hope you are right. 70%. What Rocco says? 70%. 70%. I'm not. I don't remember. Hey, Azia. I think so. I say that. 96. What's up? If you are in queue and you test, what happens? I think that you have to pay to extend your queue. Is there any way to control your costs, or do you have to pay whatever the medical services? You have to pay for medical services. Yep, engine explosion. I saw the picture of the engine also. Robert Pat says I did ASQ last month, and I'm 4 weeks in Pattaya and having a blast going home in April. Good for you, bud. Good for you, man. So he did the ASQ and coming in. But I'm assuming you're not I'm assuming you're not working a 9-to-5 job back in the States either. That's kind of my point. You probably had money set aside to do all these things, and the average person that's works might have a little bit of savings, but doesn't have that kind of time off because you did ASQ last month, which is January, and you're not going home until April. The average person doesn't have that much time off. That's my point. I'm happy for you, bro. 100% happy for you, Pat, that you were able to come or go to Pattaya and have a blast. When I go to Pattaya, I have a blast. I have many friends in Pattaya, and always have a good time when I go there. Always. So congratulations on being one of the people that can come in and do those things. That's awesome. Charles says, plan to be there in April. Look forward to a coffee with you. Or if you are not traveling, I'm be able to make time for you, especially in April. Shouldn't be a problem. Robert says, Pat Dalton, glad you're enjoying. I'll hopefully be there this year. Yeah, man, that's awesome. It was a 777 and the engine was inflamed. The starboard engine intake ring landed in someone's front yard. Interesting. The fact that it was a 777 engine blows my mind. I will read into that because unless it was a test run of a new 777X, the 777 200, 300 ER versions have been some of the most reliable airplanes ever built. So that's going to be interesting. And if we find out it was a maintenance problem, then Philthos's earlier point would be even that much more interesting. JX says, I feel like that insurance thing might be here to stay. Some employer insurance include travel insurance. Blue Cross does. Yes, they do. The problem is when people have pre-existing conditions, that's the problem. And because the cost for your insurance is going to go through the roof if that happens. And the 777 went back and landed safely. That's good. Mr. Mitch. Charles says, been saving all through 2020. Good. Then you'll have a good time when you do come, I hope. Greg says, just extra weight, LOL. That's funny. Age Unscripted, what's up, bud? Good to see you, man. Feel free to check out his channel if you're interested in the Philippines or Vietnam. He is doing some good videos over in Ho Chi Minh City right now. Fuel savings. Mr. Mitch says, seriously though, imagine parts falling from the sky. Yeah, that would be not the best thing in the world, but certainly happened before and could happen again. I agree. Rumplebee, Mr. Jeremy seems it will be 2022 to arrive normal with no. Hey man, it might be 2025 at this point. At the pace things are going. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't see how certain countries are surviving without tourism that depend on tourism. So I hope that it's long before 2022. I hope it's mid-year 2021 would be my hope. But we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know, because things change so much. Especially here in Thailand, Thai government's doing a great job of trying everything. They're trying their best to find a way to get tourism back to Thailand, and I appreciate that very much from the Thai government. So I'm hoping that the overall the trying and trying and trying and trying, they will eventually find a way. That's what I'm hoping for. The plane was headed to, okay, Anthony. My Thai girlfriend of 9 years lives in CERN, and we haven't seen each other in 13 months. She says I might be able to come soon because can't use the whole word with the Q. Sorry, man. I hope you're right, though. I hope it does change that. That would be nice. No disrespect there, Anthony. But we don't use the entire word because YouTube doesn't like it. Not my rules. I don't care what you say, but YouTube doesn't like it. So we're gonna leave that alone. But that would be ideal. That would be cool to do a home, some type of home queue. That would be great. Yes, I understand what you just said, Anthony. And again, I'll remove your comment because you're using the whole word. Just say Q. Hang on a second. Let me clear this. Okay. Robert Mack said, was the plane landing or taking off? If so, maybe I strike. Charles White, if you test positive, you get transferred to the hospital until cleared 14 more days. And special certificate insurance will cover it. Deductible depends on how much you pay for insurance. Very good. Very good. There's Dale. Hello, Dale. Integrity Legal is the real deal. Yes, they are. That's why I always recommend them. Your recommendation is much appreciated, and I'm working on the details already with them. Good, 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 good. Because they are the real deal, and they will definitely help you out. That's good information, Charles, by the way. So if you have a plus while you're in ASQ, then you go to the hospital for 14 more days, and the special certificate insurance will cover it. Deductible, but your deductible, how much you pay out of pocket, depends on how much you paid for the insurance, right? I understand. I have a zero deductible, 2 zero deductible insurance policies here in Thailand, so I get it. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that information. That insurance is another catch for the average person. Now, it may be when Thailand does reopen their borders to mass tourism, international tourism, whatever you want to call it. It may be that everybody has to have some type of insurance like that at all times. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yes, I love 777. Q character on Star Trek Voyager. I like that. Anthony says, love your vids. Thanks. Miss the old Patia during we don't talk about mayors or politics or anything else on here. It's okay, Anthony. Keep trying, man. Thank you. I appreciate the fact you love my videos, but we don't talk about anything like that. Yes, I know. We don't talk about that at all on this channel, Anthony. Stuck in Florida. Okay. Let me just go ahead and do that. All right. Stuck. They're stuck. Good morning. Good to see you, man. I have company and she's more fun. Sorry. Whatever. Robert Mack says, stuck in Florida. Hello. It's good to see you, though, Stuck. Thanks for dropping by. We certainly appreciate it. I love that bird. Robert Mack says, Mr. Mitch, that says it all. Most engine failures are taking off. 777-300 is what I always fly to Thailand, Vietnam. Great plane. Yes, it is. Very great plane. And I'm interested to see the new 777X. I'm going to see how it looks and flies. Mark says Anthony is going to develop a complex. Not on this channel because he's gone now. Robert says stuck in Florida sounds great. Have a great evening. Yeah, definitely have a great evening, man. But just want to tell you that your family's here, man. Don't forget that when you have your little company. Okay, just remember that. But anyway, these are some things that I thought I would bring up. I felt like they were important, and I felt like they were things that people needed to know. So, and kind of, Corey says, DoMoreLife, baby. I agree, Corey. Thank you. Make sure that you have the money for the insurance. Make sure you have plenty of time off work if you work, or if you work remotely, then you shouldn't have a problem. And make sure that you don't want to do all of the things that you would normally be able to do coming as a tourist, because right now, as I said, most of the tourist businesses they limit their capacity, or they are closed, or have to abide by a curfew, or because the emergency decree is still in place in Thailand right now. So, that's something else to think about. Then you have the other options, so to speak, as to think of, like, when you get here, what if something happens while you're here? The magic shots have been postponed now again here in the country, and we're waiting on them. I say all my friends in the States, they're getting them left and right, and I'm sitting here going, when will I have my turn? If I will have my turn, it's unclear at this point. If you're an expat and you're over here and you live here, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware of any rollouts for expats. And if we do get them, I'm sure we'll have to pay for them. Probably a nice price tag. But that's just the way life is here. Prep 4 says, hi, Jeremy. I agree. I've waited this long. I can wait longer to go to Pattaya. Yep, just wait a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer and give it some more time. I think it will be beneficial to those who choose to wait a little longer. And I think it will be because the longer you wait and nothing happens. Corey, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Super chats, PayPal, they all go a very, very, very long way towards helping the channel create more content and giving you guys more information. And I really, really appreciate that very, very much, Corey. So thank you so much for that super chat. Much appreciated. Greg says, do more warm and fuzzy. Hit the thumbs up button. Yes, the thumbs up button does make me feel warm and fuzzy. That's for sure. So if you feel that you enjoy the content, please hit the thumbs up button for sure. Gregory says, so passport, insurance, 14-day queue, big C clearance, right? To the best of my knowledge, that's about it. But you're going to have to. I had to remove your comment, Gregory, because you said the entire keyword. Sorry, bud. And visa. But if you go, what I'm trying to tell you is, don't try to do it by yourself, because you're very liable to inadvertently, meaning not your fault, make a mistake, and one mistake could cost you your entire trip. Get a legal professional to handle it for you. That's what it's worth, spending a little extra money for a legal professional to make sure that you have everything you need. And that legal professional that I would recommend is Integrity Legal. They're reputable. You heard people on the site or in the chat today talk about them being reputable. I'm telling you, man, it's best to be safe than sorry. I would hate for you to spend all that money and go through all that stuff, and there'll be one document missing when you get here, and you have to turn around and go home. That would be my worst fear for you. Mr. Mitch says, "There we go." LOL. Greg, I'll give 3 more watch. I don't know what Mr. Mitch is talking about. Mark says, JC, the upside of not receiving the shot yet is we are learning more and more about side effects. You'll be quite informed when your time comes. That's true. That's very true. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think the purpose, what I was trying to get across, and many times, Mark, I do a less than adequate job of trying to convey my message appropriately. What I was trying to say is, getting the magic shot in circulation, and that's what everything that I've read about Thailand's plans to reopen hinges upon, the herd immunity, right? So the sooner we can get people the magic shot, the sooner that we can start getting close to that number, and that would bring back tourism. However, your statement is completely correct. I'm very excited. Hey, Senior Frank, I'm very, very excited. And Bradley, very excited to be able to wait and find out that everything's going to be okay. That's pretty cool, in my opinion, Mark. So, yes, waiting would be good in that case, but at the same time, it's just like I just want it all to end. I'm sure I'm like everybody else, just tired of the back and forth, the rhetoric. I'm not talking about from just Thailand or Thailand specific. I'm talking about like all over the world. You hear one thing, then you hear another, then you hear 10 other things, and it's just a mess. Pelto says, has any global authority like the WHO assumed the role of authenticating which magic shots would be most accepted for travel? Would suck to get a shot and not have it accepted as valid. That is a great point, Feltos, but I have not heard of anything like that. If anybody says that, that would be, or if anybody has any information on that, that would be great. That would be fantastic, to be honest. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for. Gregor says, my bad, brother. I got the big C part right. Oh, you're all good, man. Don't worry about it. Give me some credit. It's all good. It's all good. I ain't mad at you, man. I'm just trying to help you out, bro. Good to see you, Bradley. Mr. Mitch says, that's okay, Jeremy. Most of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's all good. Senior Frank says there were reports in the Bangkok Post that said the magic shot would be free for foreigners. It was unclear when and how, and if it includes all visa types or if some would be excluded. It says probably more clear when the program actually begins. I would think both of your statements are probably true, or both of your statements are true. I know you're not going to just make up something and type it. I read something along those lines a month ago, but you got to remember the rollout here in Thailand, it keeps getting delayed. And there was originally supposed to go out in January, then February. Now it's talking about the end of May, the end of April, beginning of May. So it's and something could happen, and they could get it before then. That would be great. That would be wonderful. But unfortunately, it just seems to be delay after delay right now, and that I'm not blaming the Thai government. I'm just saying there may be a supply chain problem that has nothing to do with Thailand. But yeah, it'd probably be more clear when the program begins. I would think people like myself that have work permits here in Thailand that are on like non-B visas, like myself, possibly retirees, and smart visa holders. I would think those would be some of or a visa holder that's on like the BOI or something like that. They would probably be in line for some of the first, I would think. Well, not some of the first, but be some of the first for expats. I imagine Thai people will get everything first, as they should. So that's cool. Griffin says, wow, you have 35 thumbs up. I know it'd be awesome to get to 50 today. That'd be great. We have days every once in a while where we get 50. I have had live streams in the past where I got 100. We also had live streams in the past that has generated, there was one live stream that we had that made $1,150. $1,150 in one live stream. Things like that are life-changing events for the channel because it means I can update equipment and I can do so much more. But, you know, they don't happen very often. I don't expect them to. Money's hard to come by right now. Corey says, froze my butt off last 2 weeks in North Dakota. Wish I was there with you, buddy, but it ain't doing no, I hear you, doing no Q. Corey, please call that Q YouTube. For some reason, they will flag that word every time. I don't know why. And I have to remove your comment. Don't take it personally. I know I haven't seen you in here before, so you're probably just starting to learn about our live chat and how we talk in here. No worries at all. It's no worries. Don't worry about it. But I agree with you, and that's in the beginning of the show. I talked about that being the number one reason why you're not seeing your average person come to Thailand right now is because of that queue, that 14, 15-day queue. And once that starts to subside, you will likely see much more people come. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you because the average person just doesn't have the extra funds to spend nor the extra time to give for stuff like that. So I get it, man. I get it 100%. And I understand. Mr. Mitt says you have had some rough weather for sure at Course Mitt. Yeah. I've been keeping up with all that snow mess in America, and you guys have been like, oof, you really got snowed on. Course Mitt says, I ain't got no panties on. That's funny. Steve, hey Steve, good to see you, bud. He says, Mr. Steve Banfield says, Thailand, always wait for action rather than words. Yes, I agree. I do agree. I've been here would be 3 years in April, and I agree. The actions when they roll out, they usually roll out. When the actions of the words that have been said, you see them in play, then you know things are rolling. And I agree with you, Steve. Gregory says, don't forget to delete my earlier typo. Don't worry about it, man. We'll catch it somewhere. No worries. Mark says, Steve, I like that. Applies to everything. Yeah, it does, Mark. And you know, actions tell the tale. They flag the queue. Wow. Yeah, they do, Corey. Actually, they really do. So I don't know why they do, but this channel has been able to avoid any strikes or any demonetizations on live streams and other videos because we've avoided the word. I've let it slip a few times and it's gotten by, but I just don't want to take any chances. Filtho says, talking about channel upgrades, a green screen has been proposed instead of the green screen. Can we just get thumbnail girl to dance behind you? Okay. I'll see what I can do on that, Filthos. Scroll up. I gave you okay, hang on, Greg. 1 second, bud. Yeah, you said, my bad, brother. I got the big C part right. Give me some credit, and I did. That's what you were talking about. And Visa. Hey man, if you gave me some props up there, bro, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I didn't see it when I scrolled up. You know I love you, bro. So it's all good, man. Um, yes, the what Steve said applies to everything. Just like with people when you meet them and they tell you they're this, they're that, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Um, uh, they can say whatever they want to, but until you see it in their actions, don't believe it because when you meet someone for the first time, you're always meeting the representative. The mask is on, and you're meeting the person that they want you to think they are 99.9% of the time, and then their actions will tell you who they really are. That's big. That's one of the most important lessons I've learned in my life up to this point. But yes, I'm gonna do something different with the background filters. I just don't know what. Maybe I'll get a green screen and put thumbnail girl up behind me. I don't know. Steve says sometimes the officials in Thailand have some wishful expectation. Maybe true. Seems to be more these days. It seems to be more not quite. The hope doesn't seem to quite be there, and that's what worries me a little bit. But at the same time, I also know that you've been in this country long enough, and so have I, to know that tourism has to come back at some point. It has to. I mean, it got so bad that the business owners in or own the island of Phuket tried to get their own magic shots and pay for it themselves. And I think that was I'm not sure if the government turned it down or whatever, but it was not allowed. We call it 14-day rehabilitation. You can call it that if you want to, Corey. You can call it anything but what it actually is. It's all good, buddy. Greg says, I thought I got banned from commenting on YouTube videos because I said the full Q word once. Turns out my comments were disappearing because of my VPN. Turned it off and it's all good. There you go, bro. I didn't know that, though. Its comments were disappearing for a VPN. Gregory says they're all black ops or spies, right? I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. Lyle says, Filthos, I'm thinking mud flip girl with slogans. I support single moms. What? Alex says, is 25K USD enough for a 3-month visit between Bangkok and Pattaya to be comfortable? It certainly should be. Because you're talking about 5,000 a month. No. What's 3 divided by 25? 3 divided by 25. Let's see. 5, 10, 15. No. So it would be 10, 20. So you're talking about what, 8 something a month? 8 times 3 is 24. So you'd be a little over $8,000 a month. Man, you could live like a king, bro. Live like a king. With that much money. If I made that much money, I would just go ahead and buy land here, build a house, the whole 9 yards. Mr. Mitch says, I feel that after 14 days in the SQ, I will need rehabilitation. You might. You definitely might. It's possible. My Simple World. Hello, everyone. Hello, DoMoreLife. Hello to you. Very good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you coming in. I hope I said your name right too. It may be May. Maybe you pronounce it that way. I'm not sure. I'm very bad at pronouncing Thai names. So if I said that wrong, please forgive me. I did not mean anything by it. Of course, says 3 beautiful. Those behind you would be great, buddy. Hey, man. I'll see what I can do. I might come on with a background one day. Maybe I'll blow up some of the prints of some of the photo shoots I do, and I'll put them on the wall behind me. That'll be pretty cool. Michael says, when we going to see these coaching videos? You will see these coaching videos over the next 2 to 3 weeks coming out. Worked on some yesterday. Going to be working on more today. And you'll be seeing videos going to coaching, and you'll be seeing videos from coaching. But they are coming, just as Micro B videos came out periodically. I can't put out just coaching videos every day, or just the trip to coaching. I can't put out those videos every day. I like to keep people informed with what's going on. That's why I use YouTube Shorts a lot. And also, the channel members of this channel are also getting a lot more content now than they used to, and that will include some of the one or two of the videos from coaching. Let's see here. Mr. Mitt says, absolutely, at Allen Harris, at least for me, I've done 6 months for less than 5K USD. Wow. Gregory says, expats. Expats. Well, what's he talking about? Expats. I was like, oh, yeah. And when you sat down beside an expat on a bar, and he's been a Navy SEAL 4 times, and a special warfare officer 30 times, and a sniper in 15 wars. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I hear that a lot. Yeah, plenty enough. I agree, Charles. Steve says, hang on, I'm losing comments here. Steve Banfield says, I can't wait to do my 14-day happy hotel holiday when I go back. When I go back to the U.S. in March and come back in April, but I get to miss Songkran. That's probably, I mean, it's a national holiday. I'm not saying anything wrong with Songkran, but the water festival part of it, it's probably pretty cool that you get to miss that. I'm just not one of those people that likes to get squirted by dirty water. I'm sorry. Greg says $8,000 a month would afford you anything you could want, and the attorneys you would likely need to get out of trouble. You got a good point, Greg. That's a very good point. If I made $8,000 a month, so you probably get to keep about, after U.S. taxes, you probably get to keep about what, 5,600 of that, something like that. Live like a king, man. Mr. Missing Out says, I believe it's pronounced my. Oh, okay. Very good. That's right. My says, okay, My Simple World. As I said, I apologize. I'm not very good with pronouncing the Thai names yet. I'm working on it, and it's very nice to see you, My Simple World. So thank you. I appreciate you coming by. Corey says, I heard they might stop the queue in April. I've heard that too, but now they're saying they're not going to start the magic shots up until the end of April or early May. So that kind of throws that whole stopping the queue out the window. Maybe they'll stop it for some people that have been, their whole thing is they're not going to stop it until they're positive that the magic shot works in other people. So that's kind of what they're waiting for. I don't know how the country's going to stand that economically, but that's out of my control, and I'm certainly not going to comment on it because I'm not a Thai citizen. I'm not a permanent resident. I don't have the right to comment on government affairs in Thailand. I just talk about what's going on and how it affects the expat community or travelers in that. Philtho says, I'm curious now, do the physical therapists line up in front of the ASQ hotels around checkout time every morning? It's a good question, buddy. Good question. Yeah, Charles, I've heard that too. To Corey's defense, I've heard the same thing about April, but you're right. That's probably a good dream now. And we do hope that it comes sooner rather than later. However, you never know what might happen. You never know. That's one thing about Thailand is you just never know. It's one thing I've learned from Benjamin Hart from Integrity Legal, is to not be pessimistic, but to always plan for the worst. And if you're planned and prepared for the worst, more times than not, you will actually get the best option. So who knows? Mr. Mitch, she is really nice. She is from the Philippines. Oh, from the Philippines. Ah, my simple life from the Philippines. I'm sorry. I thought you were from Thailand. I'm all messed up. Sorry about that. Not used to having Filipino vloggers on here or people with Filipino. Yes, I am from the Philippines. Awesome. I love the Philippine people. While I was there for 9 months, it was incredible. Well, I had a lot of trouble with expats when I was there because I met some sociopaths while I was in the Philippines that were expats. But with the expat families and not expat, with the Filipino people and the Filipinas that I met, even the Filipino friends that I made, and their families, and just so inviting, loving, caring. There were some really good people there, really good people. So it's nice to have a Filipino or Filipino. Or I can't see your thumbnail, so it's or I can't see your avatar. Nice to have someone from the Philippines in the chat. So thank you for being here. Alan says going to have a bullet old fashioned. Now, see you next Friday. Be safe. Okay, Alan, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Charles said, I would be pissed since I already paid for my April ASU. Yeah, I understand. I understand, bro. I understand. Poker and trucking. Wow, I spent $5K in a month my last trip. I got to stay away from soy 6. Yeah, you would definitely do that on soy 6, brother. You would definitely go through some dollars on soy 6. I know someone that actually stayed at I think it's called the Queen Vic. It's that hotel with the nice restaurant at the bottom. It's like right in the middle of soy 6. And they stayed there. The rent was only 15,000 baht per month. But they spent about 5K that month, USD, as you did. So I understand. It happens. And when you're on vacation, when you're a tourist, when you're, you you want to cut loose, let loose, and just get away. That's one thing I talk about in some of my older Pattaya videos. Is you can be whoever you want to be. It's a getaway for people that need to get away, and it's a cool place, in my opinion. Mr. Mitch says, cool. The Philippines is on my list. Never been. Well, you should go at least once, Mr. Mitch. You should definitely go at least once and check it out. I lived in Cebu. I also lived in the Wave of Vizcaya while I was there. So I went from one extreme to the other. I lived in a big city, and I lived in the most rural of rural areas I've ever been in. It's a whole different experience over there. It's really different. That's all I can say. Robert McInnes says, gotta go. I'm going downstairs to the casino floor. I hear you, brother. Take care, Robert Mac. Thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it. And Mr. Mitch says, win, win, win. Robert in. That's good. I like that. I spent way too much myself in the past poker drinking. We all do. Gregory says that Alan Harris got to give Woodford Reserve a shot like that. Mr. Mitch says sharing is caring. That's funny. Travel eats. Expat communities often have some psychos all around the world. Yes, they do. 100%. I agree. They're here in Thailand as well, and that's always going to be the case. So it's important to choose who your expat friend. Don't make real friends with expats unless you really have known them for more than a year and spent some time with them and see how they are around other people, or find out what they say about you to other people, because or listen to what they say about other people to you, because the way they talk about other people to you is the way they're going to talk about you to other people. That's something to keep in mind. Michael says 2019, 2 weeks in Pattaya, 7K Australian dollars, but had a ball. Hey man, if you let it all loose, the spending. People ask me about cost of living and how much do I need for a month when I come to Pat's, and or I go to Phuket, that kind of thing. My answer is however much you can afford to lose. That's it. It's pretty simple. Corey says my Thai wife is sitting next to me. She's from. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. She loves your content. Well, tell your Thai wife, thank her very much. I appreciate that tremendously. And I hope that you guys, if you're planning on making the trip back, I hope you guys get to do that soon. Or I didn't know your wife was sitting right next to you earlier. So always nice to interact with Thais. I love the people of Thailand. Some of the most friendly people I've ever met. Mr. Mitt says it's confirmed Thailand is stopping the queue in April. It will now be called R for retention. Good one, man. Ken says, I enjoy your content. You have taught me a lot. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much. Purpose of the live streams and most of the content is education and information. And it's not education like I'm an expert on these things. It's simply my experience. And if I go through it, then you don't have to. Or if I go through it and do it the right way, which is rare. But if I do, at least you know how to do it. But I'm not scared to come on here and share my mistakes with you guys. Because it makes for a better community, it makes for a tighter knit community, and it also makes for a longer lasting community, which I'm very happy about. So thank you, Ken. I'm glad that I've been a help to you. I really appreciate that. Greg says, Jeremy, if you had never been to the Philippines, where's the first place you would go as a tourist? Ooh, that is a good question. I went to Peru first. That was the first place I ever went. Then I went to, I got to see Taipei for a day in Taiwan. Taiwan would be nice. I'm going to say Colombia because I have a thing for Colombia. I just want to go to Colombia so bad. So if I would not have went to the Philippines first and got in the Southeast Asian orbit, I would probably went to Colombia. After 7 semesters of Spanish in college and 2 of Portuguese, I would probably move my way through South America fairly easy. Now all my Spanish is gone. I can't put a sentence together anymore because I hadn't practiced. Good question though, Greg. Corey says Woodford Reserve is quality bourbon, Greg. Cool. Mr. Mitch says exercise caution. Always. Travel Eats giving thumbs up, and Filtho says all this talk about being whoever you want to be worries me. I think all of those poor tourists trying to be me because you know who could it be better to be? I'm handsome man. That's right. I think everybody that's in Pattaya is handsome man, right? But certainly the women here outside of well, even inside of Pattaya, you can still find good ones inside of Pattaya. I certainly did. It didn't ultimately work out, but it is what it is. And she was a great girl. Charles, and she was not a entertainment. She didn't work in the entertainment industry or anything like that. Charles says, Filthos, we all are. He says, nah, impersonators. I love that. You're in Cartagena, Colombia right now, says Poker and Trucking. Awesome, dude. Awesome, man. Cartagena is one of the places I definitely wanted to go, along with Barranquilla and Medellin. Or Medellin, however you want to pronounce it, double L's. Medellin was a stop that I definitely wanted to make. That was one of the towns that I was very interested in, and of course Bogota. I'd love to do the cable cars in Bogota and get up in the mountains and feel the difference in temperature. So I would love to do Colombia at some point in my life. It's definitely on my list. Corey says we need to hook up and go to the full moon party, baby. Been 3 times already. What a blast. I've never been to one, but I've heard it's awesome. So I want to see that. Gregory says, I'm Chocolate Man there. That's all right. There's a blogger called Chocolate Man. He's doing good over here. So I don't think you'll have a problem, Greg. Or Gregory, I'm sorry. Filtho says, full moon party seems great. Could be. Greg says, LOL, Filtho reminds me of Simon's video about Darling versus Darkling. Yeah, that's a good, that was a good contrasting video. Mr. Mitch says, for me, full moon parties are great to avoid. I would imagine that I would avoid them probably myself. But, you know, it is what it is. That's all I can say. First couple of full moon parties were fun, but got a bit old after. I can imagine. There was still the fire show on Ko Chang, and I didn't get to see it. Ross got to see it. He actually taped it and put it on his or recorded it, put it on his channel. But I would love to go back. I'm going back to Ko Chang when it's open. Right now, that island is just hurting bad for tourism, and yeah, I really feel for those people. Corey says, yeah, it's not for everyone, but you only live once. And that's the thing about Thailand. You only live once, and this is a good place to be if you're in that mind state. That's for sure. Greg says, I would enjoy full moon parties as much as I would enjoy a bucket of ice water in the face. Mr. Mitch says, we got to experience different things. We never know what may happen. That's true. That's very true. It's always good to get outside the box for a little bit. Always good to get outside the box. Corey Smith says you got to do more life. That's right. That's all. That's 100% correct. Bradley says full moon parties get old just like Songkran. I think the water festival part of Songkran gets old. To me, getting squirted with dirty water is not fun, but it is a national religious holiday, so I respect that part of it 100%. And I respect the water festival part of it as well. I just the water and the getting the dirty water is what I don't like. Poker and Tricking says Mr. Mitch, Colombia has some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I would agree with that because I have friends that are Colombian back in the States, and they were literally some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And I have seen some of the most beautiful women in the world in the Philippines. I have seen some of the most beautiful women in the world here in Thailand. I even saw some Taiwanese girls that were just amazing, absolutely gorgeous. Peru, I mean, you wouldn't think in a place like Cusco, Peru, or Lima, there would be, tons of beautiful women, but you would be so surprised when you go there and actually, insert yourself into the culture and that kind of thing. Filtho says, if you do visit Medellin, avoid the hang on, it's been a long time since I took Spanish. Churro tree. It's pollen. It's the devil's breath. High concentration. Man, it turns you into a zombie doing what you told them forgetting. Hey, I won't be visiting that tree. Just to let you know, I won't be visiting. And I get the context behind it. Nope, not me. Won't be doing that. No, thank you. So, just to kind of wrap things up here, I want to tell you all that if you are not a channel member of this channel, it's $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month. It's very inexpensive. We're gonna have we have a monthly live stream, which we've yet to do this month. I think we're going to do that next weekend. I will get with the channel members and do that. There are currently several a couple live streams up in the members only area. There are also I have the behind the scenes video of the photo shoot that I took. I've put some additional pictures up. I posted one additional picture this morning for you guys that are channel members. You guys voted on the content for this weekend's live streams. That's where I got my ideas from, is from my channel members. Currently, we've seen an increase in channel members, and I hope that more people will become channel members. You can do that by hitting join in the bottom, and it will tell you the perks that you get. The only thing we are not currently using is the email system that we set up, and that's just because we found it ineffective. Everything else, you're going to get more stuff coming. I've got more stuff to give to you. And I think that that's a good way to support the channel too. It really is, because there's nothing that you're not going to get access to if you're a channel member. Just to let you know. Corey says, what do you do there? Teach English? I do teach English. That's what I do right now. I do not plan on making a career out of teaching English. I can assure you of that, but I do enjoy my job, and I do enjoy teaching English. So that's how I've made it work so far, and we'll see what happens down the road. If you have not hit the thumbs up button yet, please be sure and do so. I would greatly appreciate that. We're close to 50. That would be awesome. My wife asked, where do you teach at? I am contractually obligated to not speak of where I am employed due to several factors, but basically because they just don't like that being said. So I'm sorry, Corey. I can't divulge that information. Plus, it would put me in the spotlight. So, not in the spotlight. It would give the trolls that much more ammunition, which I'm sure they've already figured out where I work anyway, so it doesn't matter. But contractually, I can't do that. Jack says, do you learn much Thai? I try, man, but when you're around expats all day that teach English, it's hard to do. It really is. I wish that I could take a Thai course for 6 months and I could get on an education visa for 6 months and didn't have to work, but unfortunately I still have to work right now. Mr. Mitch says, I'm Googling the heck out of it, and I think it's BS, Greg, but I'm working at least once daily. Filto says, JC teaches English, explains all the Thai kids wear the North Carolina accents. Yeah, that's right. You guys would be surprised if you saw me teach. My accent's still there, but I try to clean it up as much as I can. And, I do the best I can. Poker and Trucking says, Filters, yes, I talked to a Italian guy who got, with that, they made him empty his bank account. Yeah, I'm going to take that comment away, Poker and Trucking. No, it's nothing personal, but I just don't want that in the context of this video, and YouTube might frown upon that because it has to do with violence. So I have to be very careful with YouTube. I'm looking to expand my videos on the other platforms, and as I do that, I will let you guys know. Greg says, how do you say y'all in Thai? I'm a native Texan, and I need to know. I don't know. I hadn't figured that one out. I'm a native North Carolina country boy, and we say y'all all the time. I have no idea how to say it in Thai. Anthony, Bay Area in the house. Good to see you, Anthony. Corey says, I'm from South Alabama. I could use some English classes. How much do you charge for that? I hear you. Yeah, I fought my accent for a long time during my first English job. My first English job was in Rayong. I lived in Rayong for 16 months. When I got to Thailand, I was in Bangkok for about 5.5 weeks or so. And I got a job teaching English in Rayong, and stayed there 16 months, and then decided I wanted to come back to Bangkok. So I got a job by teaching English here, and I think it was pretty cool. I think it worked out well. Mr. Mitch says devil's breath is derived from the flower of the. Yeah, I know, but you weren't supposed to say that because you just put the. You're not supposed to talk about those things, Mr. Mitch. we have to be careful. Remember, the all eye YouTube is watching. Sounds like it might be fun with a group of friends. Hey, it might be. I don't know. I have heard that there are uses for things like that for people with mental health issues that have solved their problem or have greatly helped their problem as well. So let me summarize the video for you guys. It's all good, Mr. Mitch. You know I love you, man. So the problems with coming to Thailand right now are the 14. It's actually a 15-day, but we'll call it a 14-day ASQ, which cost at least $1,500 US. And there's a certain, you have to get certificate of entry and fit to fly. And then when you get here, you have to have your paperwork on time. You got 72 hours to do this, that, and the other. There's a lot of steps that have to be taken, and it's a big hassle for your average person. Okay, so for your average person right now, it's probably a good time just to wait. If I was in America right now, and yeah, the good old white sunglasses day. That's right, Greg. I have to bring those back at some point. But if you are waiting to come to Thailand right now, I would suggest just saving as much money as possible. I would also suggest waiting. Thank you, Corey, for another super sticker there. I appreciate that, bud. Thank you. Those things, I'm telling you, super chats, PayPals, they go a long way to help this channel out. They really do. And I really appreciate every single penny that anybody contributes of their hard-earned money to the channel, because you're going to get your value back. You always do. You always have. We've bought. Let's see. This channel has paid for 2/3 of the computer that I used to edit a year and a half ago. We bought 2/3 the price of a camera, and the reason I say 2/3 is because I always contribute 1/3 myself. What else have we bought? We've taken vacations. When I say vacations, they're always documented vacations, and that's how you get this kind of content, hotel reviews, etc. Many times through contributions on this channel, and I love it. I absolutely love it. You guys are always great. This is a family. We work together to get things done, and that's why it works. Mr. Mitch says it used in seasickness pills and other scripts. Anything is overview. Yeah. Okay, good point, Mr. Mitch, but I'm not leaving it up there. I'm not taking any chances. I'm scared. Jack, you can't use the whole Q word, buddy. Sorry, no hard feelings there, but I will answer your question. Do you think Q will still be required after? And you can't use the V word either. You got to say magic shot. I think that yeah, Corey says no Q words. We got him earlier. After the magic shots were rolled out, they're still going to wait to see if it works. No V words. Corey said, yeah. And no disrespect to you at all, Jack. That's just the way we have to keep it politically correct in here for YouTube. And if that's what they want, that's what they're going to get. Because I am using their platform and I have to abide by their rules. I'm very sorry. Charles says, I'm starving for Thai hospitality. Could not wait. Yeah. But to Jack's point, no, I think they're going to wait, actually. I think they're going to wait and see if it works and how well it works, who it works on, what happens side effects wise. I think all of that is going to be and that's based upon everything that I've read so far. So we'll see. I hope that everything works quickly. I hope that the rollout comes sooner. But I mean, you never know. You just never know. Good. Jack's not mad at me. Thank you. Charles says, I'm starving. Yep, I agree. Corey says, there's only one B word I like anyway. Same thing. Me too, says Mr. Mitch. I'm going to get blocked. Corey says, not you're all good, man. Vitamins. There you go. Vitamins, Mr. Mitch. There you go. Now you're getting creative. Vitamins. That's a good one. But in all seriousness, the state, Virginia. I like that, Greg. Good one. Right now, if you're a middle class person that's looking to travel to Thailand, my recommendation is to wait until you have verification that there's no queue, or that the queue is like 3 to 5 days or something like that, and that the businesses, the tourism industry here is starting to reopen, because without the tourism businesses, the tourism experience is not going to be the same. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying by that. And third is the cost of the insurance to come here. So you need to roll all three of those into a, does this really matter kind of thing? And, what's my priorities? Can I afford this? Do I have enough vacation time for this? There's so many variables that go into it, and I think you guys just use your head, be smart, and you'll be good. Mr. Mitch's going to put himself on timeout. Okay. And he says, I'm thinking August about going. I don't know we'll be ready in August, Anthony. If you can still handle the 14-day queue, then maybe August is your month, man. Velociraptor, you guys are Mr. Mitch says March 22, 2022, unless we are not allowed to travel for you retiring. I hear you, bud. I hear you, man. Of course, Smith says vacation. Yep. So these are things to keep in mind. And I really, vacation, good V word. I like that one. But these are things to keep in mind. And if I get 2 more thumbs up before we get off here, we'll have 50, and I'll be super happy. And this will be a super successful live chat. We've had 2. We had a super chat, and we had a super sticker, and we had a PayPal contribution as well. So thank you guys tremendously for your monetary contributions. All my moderators, thank you. As always, you guys just absolutely rock. And channel members, I'm so happy that you are channel members. It's really awesome. I hope you're getting the value out of that. Filtho says March 2022 is Mardi Gras in NOLA. Don't want to miss that, right? Anthony says, damn, probably not then. I won't go there if it's a 2-week. You have to say Q, Anthony. Can't say the whole word, man. Sorry, brother. YouTube won't allow it. I don't know why. But yeah, you just have to stay informed on what their policies are. It's all good, man. No disrespect at all. Don't worry about it. No problem. Everybody gets when they come in this live chat, it's hard to keep up for some reason with those words and the words that we can't use. So how do you do thumbs up? Corey says there should be a thumbs up button at the bottom, and you hit it right underneath the video. I'm looking for the button. Yep, should be a thumbs up, and hit it. I think we got 50 now. I'm not sure. Mr. Mitch says Nola's awesome. Greg, oh Lord, Greg. Let me just drop that out too, because that doesn't have anything to do with the context of the video. And it's all good, Anthony. Don't worry about it. That was a good one though, Greg. Mr. Mitch says if using your phone X out of chat, you will see the thumbs. Then go back. Oh yeah. That's true. I forgot about the phone. Mark says, JC, this B thing would be a great language game for your more advanced Thai students. You got a good point, man. You got a good point. I like that. That's very interesting. And Greg's laughing, and so am I. But at an hour and 40 minutes, I want to wrap it up, guys. I want to thank you all for your contributions, and just thank you so much. Not just for the monetary contributions, of course, I really appreciate those, but also your contributions to the chat, the information that was shared here today. I can't say enough about it. I really appreciate it. You guys educate me as much as I educate you, I promise, because people will say something, then I'll go look it up later. Again, as a disclaimer, this is not in any way to criticize Thailand, the Thai government, Thai officials, Thai health departments, Thai Ministry of Health, CCSA, none of that stuff. This is just all about being practical as a tourist. That's what this video is about. Things to take into consideration, pragmatically and practically. We live in reality on this channel, and that's what I've tried to bring to you today. Thai government's always going to do, in my opinion, a good job. But as Steve pointed out earlier, wait for the actions before you determine whether or not you're actually going to be able to do something. Because we've heard many different things this year that never came to fruition, and that's okay, because this is a situation that nobody's ever dealt with before, not in modern times anyway. So it is what it is, and I hope that there's been some valuable information today given to you guys. Lyle, thank you for being here, buddy. Of course, there's Do More Life, baby. Absolutely. Health and happiness, everyone, 100%. I missed you already. Next chat, more viewers, though. Just saying, oh Lord. Maybe we'll do maybe I'll do a members only chat, and we'll figure out how to do V-word chat. That would be fun. And if you hadn't, be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out. If you absolutely think you want to help the channel, you can always do that via Super Chat or PayPal. So take care, guys. I will see you sometime this week. Look for a video tomorrow morning. I hope you get it ready, polished, and out today. There's going to be a series that's going to come out on Ko Chang, and it's just going to be one video starting, like going to Ko Chang is going to take about a week or 2 weeks worth of videos, and then going or being in Ko Chang will take another week or two's worth of videos as well. So there will be YouTube shorts in between that. There will also be different videos that have nothing to do with Ko Chang between that. And as always, we will have live streams on the weekends as much as possible. So Greg, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I see your goodbye. Thank you. Everybody take care. I love you guys. I appreciate this Do More Life family more than you could possibly imagine. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Whatever you do today, be sure you do more life.